Hello and welcome to the Dorans podcast. My name is Muldrifter, otherwise known as Gotti, and I'm here with Fajita and Coke Monkey again. What's up, fellas?
Hey yo.
Hey, welcome back. We missed you. We missed you.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to be back. And we got a banger today. This is the mid-season cast. We got a lot to go through, so I'm just gonna briefly go over the quick itinerary and then we're gonna get right onto it. So we're gonna recap our game.
Rankings.
True, it's rankings time. So, really quickly though, we are going to recap over our games. Then we're going to do some rankings, power rankings, MVP, some value player rankings as well. And then to end off the cast, we'll briefly go over the next week's matchups for week 4. But I think we should just get into it with the recaps. So, we'll start with the first series on the dock, which was LLQ versus HK. 2-1 for us, for the boys. Um, Honestly, we played pretty well even in our loss, so I was like pretty happy with this series.
Yeah, well, you kind of had the stream going on, right? While this series was going on. And so I got to listen in to some of your comms, got to watch some of this series. And honestly, with all of the series that I've watched this week, I think HKLLQ was the most chill. And I say that because both teams were kind of just playing towards their win con. There wasn't too much crazy hands checking going on, unlike some of the other games. Because I watched GGL and that was definitely a different vibe. I watched UI and like we'll talk about it later, but that series had a lot more. This was really just Muldrifter knowing what his win cons were, just calmly calming. He was just like, guys, I'm going here, I'm going there, just the regular state of affairs. But I am surprised that you guys dropped the game. Credit to LLQ for that, but it seemed pretty comfortable for you guys, at least in your victories.
Honestly, they're like way better than I thought they were. To
Hmm.
like going into it, I think that this team is like pretty good. Honestly, I think that they should have like a really good shot at making playoffs. I mean, we'll get into that later. But any thoughts, Coke Monkey, before we move on?
Nope.
All right. So let's go on to amusing at best Fart. Also a 1-2 series. Also a series where you're kind of surprised that Fart drops a game. What happened, Coke Monkey?
Uh, I think Xandri and the like alien characters dude. I'm sorry, man, but that that's what we gotta call him, I guess. No one's reading that, but they just kind of completely took over game two. Like they had a really good game plan going into it, and they just kind of got way too fed, and there was just nothing that we could really do once they started getting around the map, and yeah, really, really well played to them, to be honest. They were a lot better than we thought as well. Like despite their 0-2 scoreline coming into the week and now 0-3, but I mean, clearly they're not pushovers. I think so. Well played to them.
Yeah, how often do you see Neferi top? That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that champ up there. That's so interesting to
There's been some really weird picks. I mean, a lot of that's GGL, but still, there's been some very
me.
strange picks this season, I feel like.
That is the beauty of
Yeah.
Dorans, I suppose.
And once
You
again, forgive
feel
my bias, but both junglers kind of showed out here. Like we were talking before the pod started, how crazy Xandri was. He got that perfect 14-0-14 Pantheon game in, a really good Zinzao game in, and obviously the Dodo Bobby. He had a new Zac game one,
Yep.
impressive new tech. Congratulations on picking that up. But how are people still letting the Yorick through, man? He doesn't lose on it.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm honestly shocked that it's gone through in 3 consecutive series. I think that I would start banning it if I was KND, to be honest. But that's my suggestion.
cool, cool. With that, I think
Think
we can move on
yeah,
to the
let's
next
move on.
series.
Yeah, we're speed running
Yeah,
it. Let's go.
Milk GGL. I'm shocked that Milk lost this series, to be honest. But this is the series that's like, okay, Milk, are you on
Mm.
Fraud Watch? I think you are on Fraud Watch.
Because honestly, like I look at Woodenmouth and Doyen's champion pools, and sometimes I think to myself, these guys have champion pools that are a little solo queue-ish. Like so. maybe in a series against GGL where hands is everything that they can start to show out. This was a little bit of a disappointing one. Not gonna lie to you, like they got their Darius pick, they got their Warwick pick, but they lost to oh my god, that's a Heimerdinger top. Oh, that is a
Yeah.
war crime. Oh,
Yeah, I think
Yikes.
they were prepared for it, and yeah, obviously Woodenmouth wasn't able to like 1v9 on Darius, but I mean 9-9-9, right? Into Heimerdingers. I mean, not too bad, but you're not going to carry the game like that, right? So
yeah, that's what a German man would say if he was matching a Heimerdinger top. 999.
999, true.
Oh man.
I think that from GGL's side though, if they make it to playoffs just like doing this, bad respect to them. They will show they will do some crazy stuff in playoffs if they make it like this. I'm super excited to watch them play going in the latter half of the season.
And we got to remember, like, I lost still didn't play the series. Like, he hadn't showed up since week 1, and
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
they
Man,
took
right.
this
that's
series.
even worse for Vilk. I'm not gonna lie. If I lost isn't playing, that's kind of like their like big point player. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Shout out to GGL. Without their best
Yeah.
player, they haven't lost a beat.
Oh
Bit of a
man.
meta watch here. The Quinn jungle just got buffed, immediately brought in by Lucifer. I didn't think anyone would be playing it, to be honest. Like, that is a brave pick to take out in game one. They showed
I
out
thought it
on
was
it.
trash because they're buffing it this patch, right? But obviously
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
44%
yeah.
win rate. It's like really bad right now,
they
but
won, so I mean, you know,
they they had pretty decent. Oh, he had double the Warwick CS almost. That's kind
that's
of
crazy. Quinn Jungle's clear is not
yeah.
that good. I've played it.
Yeah, no, it's not. I think the Warwick just had to fill a lot of gaps all over the map. But
Right.
yeah, props to GGL, man. Like I love seeing them play. Like let's hope to see them in playoffs.
yeah,
All
right.
right, and with that, let's move on to the last series, Battle Bunnies versus Tech Esports Black. Honestly, just really clean from Tech Esports, and we should get into him now. Pokey Panda is like very quietly been one of the best junglers in the league.
Yeah, I think he kind of
Definitely.
emerged in week 2, right? They didn't
Hmm.
play week 1 if I remember correctly, and starting week 2 they looked really
He's a
good.
sub.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's a sub.
And I
Uh,
mean, now that we're into week 3, I think to me it looked like he was, or they were just kind of. I don't want to say 1v9 because like the rest of the team played well as well, but 1v9, you know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, just really clean on like, and they've been doing this for a couple games now. Like I think last week was the same story. They were just really clean on both their tempo and their ganks and their execution on the bruisers. Props to Poke Panda. We got to keep an eye out for this guy.
I am very scared to be playing against Tech Esports Black in week 6. I'm not gonna lie, this team looks very scary.
For
Yeah, they've
sure.
definitely outperformed at least my expectations. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. We never officially
I
did
would
a
agree.
preseason power ranking, but we didn't know where the power would come from. But I think we can definitely see that it's coming from this jungler dictating everything on the map. Jellied Sauce, super consistent. He's their highest ranked player, and I think he's been their anchor. It's been a really great performance from them. And then the Ancient Reaper, when they're on their picks, I think are like pretty strong too. This is awesome. I love the
Very,
fact that
very
Tech Esports
underrated
Black is this
team.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to add, Coke Monkey, before we move on?
No, I think let's get on to the big, the big story of the week.
Yeah, we saved
Oh,
this one for last because we did want to spend, a significant amount of time. It's We versus K and D, the streamed match, and it was a lot less competitive than I thought it would be.
yeah. Uh, like Justino put up a good fight. Like just those Pantheon spears were not missing. But
His Pantheon was
unfortunately,
so good.
yeah, like I was really impressed just how he played every team fight. It was really cool. And just I got to take a second to talk about Pegasus Knights. Man, like it's really hard with Riot's API not working, not be able to see the games, but to actually see Pegasus Knights in action, like they are behind so much of what this team does. Like I think they are definitely top 10 in the league, and I want to see more of them going forward for sure.
Yeah, but on the other hand,
Yeah,
it's
I
for
think that we just got to start talking about Zodex.
yeah, that's
This guy
exactly what I was
is
gonna get into.
this. So Zodex is, I believe, since week 2, the highest CS per minute player. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the highest DPM player as well. We don't exactly have that stat. Um, but they just looked. I mean, if you just watch the VOD of Game 2 from We versus KND, the amount of bad positions that Zodex was able to put Roomba Fiesta in just through like really strong laning, really strong lane positioning too, able to find like shoves into Syndra R and just completely taking over the game from a lane bully perspective, which in Dorans is not something we see very often. I think, there are very few players who have been able to successfully kind of pull that play style off. You think of like Iska as an example, like a few seasons ago was very solid at that, but nothing to this level. I have not seen it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Before the season started, I thought it was a pretty easy shot. If I were a betting man, I'd just put money on Muldrifter getting MVP. But Zodax appearing week 2 out of nowhere, I think he's gonna give you a very, very serious run for your money. I think if this keeps up, he's actually gonna be my favorite to win the MVP now, just because the CSing numbers are just not real for Dorans. Like I don't think
Yeah,
anybody last season had these numbers. This is ridiculous, and he was constantly bailing his team out of bad team fights. Like you look across the board, this team has very few weaknesses now, right? Like Dandong's dictating everything. Low pick is being a hyper value pick up there. Ghostex is one of my favorite players to watch. Ghostex is so funny. Ghostex is a mechanical madman, and that's my best type of AD carry. But there were many team fights where they made the wrong decision, and Zodex just bailed them out anyway through pure hands. Like out of nowhere, we have gotten a monster in the mid lane.
Yeah, like speaking of hands, right? Like Yasuo mid, like I mean, obviously
yeah.
it's a pick that you'll see in solo queue a lot, but like in Doran's, this is
Have
not
we ever seen Yasuo in Dorans? Actually, I've been around the scene for a while in Dorans. I don't think I've ever seen somebody play Yasuo.
this is not a
That's really
normal champion
interesting
to
that
see.
no one has. Wow.
So
I knew they wanted the synergy with the Ornn, but that can't be the only reason. I think
I mean, if you look at
Zodex
the guy's
has it.
profile, he's like million point Yasuo player.
Oh
It
yeah,
wait,
just has a lot of games on it.
why was
oh,
it ever let through?
I guess he just
What?
never played.
A
I mean,
million?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
so
Wow.
I don't know. Sometimes mastery points you're kind of like whatever, right? Like it could have been from a long time ago or whatever, but in any
There
case,
has
I
to be
kind
a
of wanted
cutoff point.
to
I think a
kind of
million's
highlight
there. But
that
yeah, go
this
ahead.
champion when it's like when it's someone who knows how to playing it, it's very very hard for like people to kind of deal with, especially if you're kind of like not like super high rank or whatever, and there's like ways to deal with them that aren't maybe so easy for Thorns level players to do, and if that keeps up, right, like how is anyone going to deal with this guy? He's got that Syndra that's just obviously shown up to be very very strong. But like if he has these kinds of like aggressive, not assassin, but like skirmishing melee mid laner type of champs to play as well, then I mean he's gonna kind of be able to fit into every situation and have a good chance to carry every game. So that's gonna be scary.
They've got more in their locker. Like the Yone is going to be let through at some point, and that's going to take over. I'm looking forward to that one.
Is it going to be let through? I feel like that it should never be let through ban phase, but
You never know.
Eh.
I have my own opinions about how I would draft against Wii that I probably should not be talking about. So
Yeah.
Fair. I would triple ban Zodex. I would do the Radicus route of just
that's
banning out the best
interesting.
player.
Yeah.
Just try to shut this guy down. But I haven't scouted them well enough because it looks like Ghost X does well in all that picks anyways. But I might change after I do more serious scouting. But in any case, this is a monster that has to be contained, which is crazy because you'd usually want to contain Ghost X, who we have said for a lot of the season is the best AD carry in the league. And
We'll get to
Lavender
that.
showed up to contest that. Yep,
Yeah, I
but
was about to say.
yeah, right. But way too many aspects and facets and win conditions coming out from this team.
Yeah. All right. I think with that, we should move on to the next section, which is going to be our MVP. And this is interesting because you had just talked about putting
Mhm.
myself as like the number one, but if you look at our rankings, I ain't number one. We had a
Yep.
certain other jungler there who has just been the absolute backbone of his team. I think Justino is so good, and honestly, it was a disgrace for me to leave him off the list because I've literally jungled against him before. So,
Oh yeah,
the
this.
preseason list, I should say.
Yeah. I think it's kind of maybe it was like there are a lot of new names coming in that we thought might be up there, right? And
Yeah,
it's kind of like Justino is in a sense he's like a known quantity from previous seasons, but man, we did not know how good he's
his improvement
become.
is like so
Yeah,
much better. He's gotten
exactly.
so much better.
He's taken like a split off kind of, and now that he's back, he's he looks better than ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't here previous seasons, so I wasn't familiar with his game, and even when he had subbed in for one or two series last season, I wasn't able to see firsthand what this guy was about. But even before we made this collaborative list, I knew who my number one was for sure, and it was definitely Justino because we've seen dominance from his team like all season so far, like just great KDAs coming in from everybody. But after seeing them on stream, like we now know what
yeah,
exactly makes them tick, and it's Justino. It's
yeah.
that he just executes so cleanly in every skirmish, every fight. He knows exactly what his game plan is, and if Candy are to go all the way, it's going to be on the back of Justino. Just MVP level performances every game.
It's funny because I feel very weird about talking about myself like when it comes to like gassing myself up, I guess, but I'll try
Yeah,
and do it
naturally.
here.
Yeah.
We're kind of opposites, I would say, where he is legitimately just trying to like 1v9 games. And that's not my motive. If you've watched me play, obviously, even like on carry champions, I still look to set up my team to like do well. And I think that's like a very interesting dynamic. I used to have that with Microbrat as well when he used to be in Dorans.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I just kind of I don't know. I love the dynamic when I play against these kinds of people. So I'm very excited to play against Justino if we do. We don't play in regular season, but playoffs hopefully I will see Candy. I am very excited for that. But um I don't know. I've had a very I wouldn't say I've been quiet this season, but maybe I haven't lived up to my expectations because like last season I think I had an exceptional season where I was um kind of like dictating the pace of every single game. And while I've been doing that this season, um it's not really been me, honestly. It's been my team that's been like so good. And this is where I want to kind of like because we've kind of talked about Zodex a bunch already. I wanted to transition this into my teammate Lavender, who um has just been the reason why we're over the top, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Lavender, obviously again, it's been hard to watch games just because of how Riot has been doing things recently. But if you've ever seen him play, wow, like the team fighting, especially, I think that obviously there are like no slouch in lane, sorry. But they've kind of been on a lot of scaling picks recently, and in those team fights, he's just doing so much damage and kind of really carrying every fight. To be honest,
Yeah, 100%
Tempo,
agree.
Tempo and Muldrifter have you know kind of historically been on like the more facilitator type champs, and that's like perfect for what Lavender wants to do. Just kind of do half of the teamfight DPS that HK ever has, and it's honestly a treat to watch.
Yeah, I agree with everything you both have said. I think coming into the season, a lot of us were saying if Lavender was any bit as good as Telmo, HK would easily be favorites. Lavender has been better than Telmo this season, and
Yeah,
it's
and Tumble
given.
had a good split last split.
Yeah, definitely. I think they were definitely pushing up against the top five, but Lavender, like I think they're so good that they've shifted the dynamics of your team a little bit, and that's why you've been talking,
Yes.
then that's why you've been saying that about yourself. Is that because last season you had to like, pull out like more of the carry picks. Like you've played Shaco this season. I think you just
I
did
played
this
one
past
game of
series.
Shaco. Yeah, it was my
Yeah,
first
but
game, and honestly, it wasn't great.
yeah, you had to do a lot more of the damage and just take like 1v19 fights a lot more last season to stand a chance against that really strong group with Greeley and KND in it. But this season, your job has been a lot more straightforward. Like you were able to execute a really clean Diana game that I saw on stream, where it was just you power farming on Diana and your laners just naturally winning lanes and CSing well and just playing really solid fundamental League of Legends. And on the
Yeah.
flip side, we thought that was the case for Justino without seeing their games because there's so many big names in this team, so many veterans, but upon seeing them on stream, and obviously I don't want to be naming any names, but I will say that his laners are not as clean as I thought they were, and it was Justino dictating a lot of what they did. Whereas that has been kind of the opposite for you. And I'd say that's the case for Thandong a little bit as well. He came in as one of the jungle favorites, but his laners are just so dominant that his
Yeah.
job is a lot easier. He just has to facilitate his winning lanes, which is a very different thing to have to do than deal all the damage and carry and get all that gold.
What a terrible problem to run into. My team's too good, so no one knows how good I am. I get it.
Um,
uh, yeah.
I kind of have like one more closing thought.
Hmm.
That like I just wanted to like kind of emphasize a point that Coke Monkey made, where it's like me and Telma are kind of like known for playing facilitating champs. That's kind
Hmm.
of been my role in Risen pretty much ever since I joined. I've been like, or my first team ever, I was known as like the Sejuani Jarvan player. I was just setting up my team, Arcadius and Bunsky, and just trying to make sure that I could like play for them in team fights. This is basically how I have been playing this season, and now, I think last season you didn't get to see me at my best because I had to play more of a carry role, which is something I'm not very comfortable on. This season, I think it's a little bit different, where I've been playing at my best because I can play my game.
Yeah, and from playing against you and like seeing what your champ, I mean, you don't have a champ pool of that has Jarvan and Ivern in it if you don't enjoy doing this, right? Like
Yeah,
that playmaking style is so satisfying when your teammates just execute their roles and you can kind of just order them around as StarCraft like characters, and that's what you're known for, right? That's what you do, and I'm happy that you just get to do what you like comfortably this season, and
yeah,
you're
it's been
great
very
at doing
fun.
it. Yeah, and my last point is the last person on our MVP list.
Yes, I
Coke
wanted to talk
Monkey
about
is
this as
number
well.
5 on here, and I think Coke Monkey deserves to be here because he is an absolute chameleon. I think number 5. I've been debating about this like all week. Is it Coke Monkey or is it Pegasus Knights? But whereas Pegasus Knights is a really strong enchanter player, Coke Monkey has been everything for his team this season. Him and Dodo Bobby have been grabbing a lot of the highlights, and obviously Dodo Bobby's been really strong, but to be able to execute this well on a carry pick like Senna, I don't think any other support in the league has as much carry threat as he does on his Senna. But to be able to pull out the Rel and just engage, like make all the calls, and pick the Zillion to single handedly 1v9 GGL, I think is just testament to how wide this guy's champion ocean is. And he's just been a very solid spine for his team this season so far.
You have any thoughts, Coke Monkey?
Oh, yeah. Talking about me, yeah, great.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right, that's how you feel. I get it. Like, yeah, I think it's been
Sorry.
no. It's all, I mean, yeah, it's all good. It's It's been fun for sure. Yeah, I've been able to do a lot because honestly, my team trusts me a lot to take the later picks, which is kind of credit to them as well, right? Like I think a lot of them are kind of blind picking a lot, which is giving me the chance to kind of showcase myself with all these like I guess more niche picks that people don't really pull out too often because they just don't really see the opportunity. They don't see enough enemy champions to know if it's right. But yeah, Fart's been they've been nice to me in that regard. Like they trust me with R5. They trust me with like a second round like support pick, and I think that's really a lot of it in terms of the champion pool stuff. And I mean, otherwise, I'm just kind of playing my game, right? Like win lane, win game, and hopefully it goes well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We've been consistently inconsistent with our 9 games played over 3 weeks. But yeah, I think yeah, it's been fun. I think I'm okay, I'm happy to be here in the fifth slot.
Yeah, Coke Monkey's been really wanting to play Dorans for a while now. Last season he wasn't on an official roster and he was watching most of the games. And the last game that he played last season was actually playing for my team IKEA in playoff semifinals. And he was playing Vex mid and he was kind of smurfing on an early game. The two of us were kind of dictating a lot across the map. But it just goes to show like how versatile this guy is. And I think he's going to be able to showcase even more champions as the season progresses. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next item on our agenda, which is the best value player. And I think in Dorans, where you're not allowed that many points, it's the best value players on your team that usually dictate how far you go. And number
Yeah.
one on our list is the captain of a fart team that has been very surprising and honestly very fun to watch so far this season. Coke Monkey, would you like to share a couple words on your captain, Mr. 36 Sweaters?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think coming into the season, it's like I just hop into this team and it's like we got a gold mid laner and it's cool. That's Dorans, right? But
Standard, yeah.
I think he's like really just really really solid. Great champion pool. Pretty good at laning, and I think he has a really good sense of just where to be during the later stages of the game, which is I think a lot of the struggles with a lot of Doran's players, and it's made games pretty easy for us to play out in terms of like macro later, and yeah, just been putting up big performances for us. A lot of damage, just the control mages that are combining with our jungler, just linking up for plays. I think he kind of does it all. Like honestly, yeah,
Yes,
props to him.
Sweaters has made you guys really hard to draft against, I think. I haven't had the need to do it, but when I think about this team, I think about needing to ban Dodo Bobby's like big picks. Like I don't want to be going against that Yorick, you know. Maybe your Senna, maybe some of your other more heavy facilitating picks. But you have to ban out 36 Sweaters is 65% win rate karma. They're just way too clean on it. And then once you get past that, they've had a really good Vagar game, 2 series in a row, where I think they've dictated so much of what happens across the map. I think that Vagar is starting to sneak into ban territory because otherwise teams are not going to know how to deal with this really nice scaling pick that usually does really well in Dorans.
So I'm actually gonna argue that 36 Sweaters has too many champions to like throw bans at. To be there are certain
Right.
players who I like Coke Monkey who I'm like, you have too many champions. I'm not banning you out. I'm gonna ban some other guy who has like 3 champion pool, right? But
Mm-hmm.
because like we haven't talked about his Rise yet, he's been spamming in solo queue and did finally pull out. I believe last week, in the game 3 with Far Esports. But then there was also the Anivia game that he played against HK, where, oh my god, that was so impressive. Oh my god, that Anivia
Yeah,
champ.
not a very fun one to face, I think.
No, and
Not right now.
I remember, if I remember correctly, Ari was a contested pick in that series, so like he plays the Ari as well. It's just too many champions to be honest for 36 Sweaters, and him. I told this to Coke Monkey, I believe. I think that Fart Esports has the best. Well, okay, not anymore with Wii. Okay, Fart Esports has the second best mid jungle in the league. With 36 sweaters and Dodo Bobby, they have
Mm.
just been running the map. Like in the winning games, it is like those two and Coke Monkey just like completely taking over the map and just like putting their foot on the opponent's throat. It very having played against it like with 36 sweaters pushing lane and Dodo Bobby running into my jungle and killing me as York versus Brand, it was very oppressive.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought these two are very much on the same page. This combination of Dodo Bobby and 36 sweaters, it seems that Dodo Bobby's the one making all these calls and his team's just entirely on board. Coke Monkey, like together with them, makes them a really strong 3 or 4 man unit that I think have a chance in any game they play this season.
Yeah,
For real.
there are some junglers on this list. I say junglers plural because we can talk about both Xandri and Lucifer here as two of the most underrated players in Dorans. I mean, because we can talk about low pick and numbers guy in a second. I think they're very well known quantities at this point, but Xandri and Lucifer in particular have kind of flown under the radar.
Mm.
Um, and Xandri in particular has been just carrying games recently.
Yeah, for sure. As the latest victim, I guess you could say.
That
Obviously,
Zinzao game though?
yeah, like wow, just jumping in, legit unkillable, killing our AD, and tanking our Mordekaiser. Oh my god, like let's let's not play against this again. But yeah, I mean obviously music at best they're like 0-3 right now, and it's sometimes it's hard to look good on like a losing team, especially on jungle, right? But I mean he looks really good. That obviously had the perfect Pantheon game into that Xin Zhao game last week. Even in the Nocturne game in the loss, like I think he really picked his picked his spots to be in with like the Nocturne ult to respond to plays that we made, which kind of like made our game a lot like longer, kind of drew it out a little bit. And yeah, I just think for 4 points, I mean, you cannot ask for like much more. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we kind of expected Amusing at best to mostly have the threat come from the bot lane of Magma Overlord and especially the Kang, but I think Xandri's really started to shoulder a lot of that responsibility. And for somebody who's the best player on a losing team, their team hasn't won a series yet, it's really hard to know what to do to be able to carry your team in future performances. But I think looking at their picks and their builds, like this is a jungler that is up to date with the meta and is trying to give their team as much of his edge as possible. Nocturne's probably like one of the best jungler, if not the best jungler in the meta right now. And they're locked in on the Xin Zhao, specifically with the Dusk and Dawn Titanic Riftmaker build that I've been spamming. I love that build. It gives you burst with Titanic. It gives you sustain with all the AP. And they're just doing all they can to help their team out. And you really respect that.
I want to touch really quickly on Lucifer before we get to these. Well, I
Mhm.
don't know what to call numbers guy, to be honest. He switches roles every game, but I'll really touch quickly on Lucifer, who I got to catch game 3 of GGL versus Milk, and while yes, this was the game that numbers guy dropped. 20 kill game on the Yone. Lucifer was a lot of the setup in that game, and he was just constantly playmaking. This guy, I had Doyen as fourth or fifth best jungler in the league before the
Mhm.
season started. Lucifer piss gapped that guy. It was oh my god. The guy is awesome. I love his aggression. He knows when to pick his spots. He is very, very, very good for his points.
How many points are there?
I believe
4?
4.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is excellent. Because you're never gonna know what to ban against Lucifer. I think in the absence of I lost, both him and Master Mushmush and Numbers Guy, to be fair, have just taken over all of that damage dealing responsibility. Like, how do you ban out somebody who has Quinn, Kindred, Set in their jungle pool. Like these are just some crazy random picks that are mechanically very hard to pilot, and they've been doing that very excellent.
Yeah, totally agree. Having played against, I think I did play against. Yeah, I have played against GGL in week 2. Yeah, definitely you can definitely see, you know, kind of the skill that they have in that sense, right? I think they pulled out, yeah, they pulled out the Kindred again against us. Can't remember any other. Oh, the Evelyn. Oh, the Evelyn. How did I forget about the Evelyn? Like, who's playing Evelyn and Dorans? But like, I mean, this guy's playing Evelyn, and again, like they had their game plan and kind of just had pressure everywhere on the map, just in virtue of locking in that champion, right? And it's not like they were terrible at it. Like they were getting good picks and stuff, and yeah, just definitely really helps the team win.
And I guess, talking about GGL, we can talk about numbers guy as well in that same vein. That, this is like very quickly becoming one of the best solo laners slash bot laners. Very quickly. Like, I think if they were going to continue to play mid lane, they would very quickly become top 3. Bot lane is quite a bit of competition, so maybe we're edging on top 5 or somewhere around there. But yeah, numbers guy looks like the real deal, and he looks like he has so many picks that are obnoxious to play against. Xerath bot lane, for instance, or no, that's just Xerath. That's just Xerath. Yeah, that's Xerath bot lane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
there
No,
at
I'm
bot
totally
lane.
okay.
Yep.
Xerath
Yep.
bot lane. And then you have like from mid lane, he's willing to pick Assassin, Zed, and the Yone as well. Dropped 20 kills on the Yone. That is the most, I believe, in a single game this season.
I
And
think so.
and some context.
Yeah.
Yep. Tacking onto that real quick, Den is who we had as the number 1 mid laner in the league coming
Oh,
into
and
the
just
season.
just straight up gassed
Just
by
just
numbers guy.
dropping 20 kills on Den's head like quite easily. Like, this is this is some value right here. They
For
might be
sure.
higher in like they might be higher on our value list for the rest of the season if this keeps up going. Yeah.
Yeah, but think really quickly we can get on to the last one, who we kind of like almost named this award after, because this is for points. This is like even though they're number 3 on our list, this is like for points the best value you can get in the league with low pick 45. Oh man, just if you're gonna talk about like some guy doing his job, low pick 45 is the embodiment of that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, on this one, you could just scroll back to the post game screenshots, and like your silver player isn't dying a billion times against like better, quote unquote, better top laners. What else can you ask for? And not only that, right? There's some like Renekton games, Alawi games, Bruiser games that are where like he's an actual contributor. So I mean, for 3 points,
Yeah. This is the low pick award, to be honest with you. And we saw this coming. Like this was a silver player who was holding their own weirdly in platinum or emerald lobbies, like players like these who just have high ranked friends and are just used to playing in that environment just tend to really thrive. Like we've seen this from the likes of people like Goldfish, Gribble Hunter, Woody Woods, but individually, the way we saw them on stream right recently this week, and he played into Poppy as Ornn. Poppy's supposed to counter Ornn, and that just did not phase him at all. Then he went up against the fabled Gordon Renekton, just had a perfect game on Scion, and before that, just completely gapped Zaltkret. Like from 3 points, this is way beyond that. Like this
Yeah.
is as much value as you can get. Yeah.
Um. All right, and I think with that we should move on to kind of the big topic for this week, the power rankings. And uh you look at the power rankings, and you might be like, oh, you guys are just record watching. You know what I mean? It's like, for the most part, besides like Milk LQ, I guess you could swap around, like we're just kind of record watching, but there is a lot of nuance, I think, in some of these teams that have like the same record. So we could briefly, I guess, go over like the top teams, and then maybe like kind of, I want to spend the bulk of the time talking about these 2-1 teams, to be honest.
Yeah, totally agree. So
Mhm.
let's just go into it. Like with number one, I think it's just kind of undisputed.
Yeah,
They
yeah, very very easily.
they took out like
Is
what looked to be the other best team very very convincingly. Their one game loss was like before Zodex came in, and now that Zodex is in, I mean they're kind of looking like the top dog right now. That's kind of just what it is.
Yeah, we had UI, HK, and KND in the top tier for most of the season, and obviously they beat KND quite handily. And obviously, like I have my reasons why, but could you guys just briefly explain why you placed UI over HK, seeing as they're both undefeated?
Well, we lost the game to LQ, which I mean, I think it's like actually kind of understandable. I don't think that they're that bad. But, in the standings of 1 versus 2, that can be a tiebreaker. I also just think that they are like the way that they win the game is maybe a lot easier to execute than the way that we win the game, because their laders are just better than ours. Uh,
Yeah, it's a lot in
I
Lavender's
think
shoulders. Yeah,
it would be a lot of lavender for in the we versus HK matchup. Um, but I think that he can do it. I mean, he's a beast. But yeah, and then I guess like to kind of like bridge that into HK. I think we've had a pretty good season. Like I said, our one blip, kind of our one bad thing that's gone on so far this season was that we dropped the game to LQ. But other
Drop
than
one
that, I
fart
mean,
as
pretty
well.
pretty. Hey, but that honestly, where we have fart, that's almost to be expected that we would lose a game to you guys. So,
Okay, okay.
the
um,
the the Dodo Bobby Yorick and Coke Monkey Senna incident. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think solid season from us so far. We just got to keep pushing on.
Yeah, I think it's you guys are pretty solidly up there at number two. Just not much to say about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving
I
into probably the second tier.
Oh, the
So
2-1
it's
teams. Here we
I guess
go.
it's KND and Fart and TBGGL. Oh, this is a huge jumble here. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, this is the kind of where I wanted the beat of it to go. So K and D dropping the series to Wii in that fashion, because like I feel like if it was like a close 2-1, I would probably even still have K and D over HK. But K and D dropping it in that fashion, like they kind of getting smoked, it did make me want to put them at number 3. I think that they're still cracked, but like you know next week is a big week for KND. I want to see them bounce back.
Yeah, any given week you don't want to be playing against Justino. Like he's
I
just really
agree.
good. Pegasus Knights is also just the heartbeat of this team. I just I wish I could watch another game from both Gordon and Roomba Fiesta. I think they had off weeks, and obviously Roomba Fiesta had to play against this crazy 10 CS per minute guy in the mid lane. They're probably not going to have to do that for the rest of the season unless they
Yeah,
meet
probably
Ui
not.
again. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Obviously they've looked really good so far. Like Roomba Fiesta's Mel, like this week did sort of get destroyed by Zodex, but before that had really, really good KDAs. So they're probably gonna have that moving on to the rest of the season. Pretty comfortable third
Yeah.
place. This is a good prediction for me, yeah.
And the reason why they're above teams, in my opinion, over like Fart or Tech Esports is because their wins, they legit looked dominant. It was just clean start to finish. Like, we're getting 15,000 gold lead at 25 minutes. Nothing you can do. They've just been shutting out teams that are not we. So, that props to them for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. They look very, very clean in their wins. They're all like 2-0s, right? They
2-0s and none of the games were close.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's completely fair for them to kind of be in the top of the 2-1 pile.
Yeah. But I want to talk about now like the kind of standout team, the most surprising, or actually the next two teams are the two most surprising teams of the season to me
Yeah,
in Fart and
for
Tech
sure.
Esports. Um, in particular Fart though, because you guys are we're 21 points to start the season, right? I don't. What are you guys now? Because you guys did a bunch of roster
We were
changes. You guys are
20.
still 1 point.
Yeah,
You guys are 1 point under cap.
yeah, I think we're still 1 point under. So, but yeah, we're running with the 23 right now, and it's definitely, you know, obviously you make an upgrade and things go better. That's kind of how it goes. I think we've had a lot of like close series with like all the 2-1s. Like I mentioned before, we've been maximizing our fun with our 9 games played over everybody. Like everybody else maybe has like 6 to 8.
So this is why you guys top all the stats charts.
Yeah. We're just sitting here farming kills and
Farming
assists and
stats, stat padding.
yeah, for sure. But
I
yeah,
I want to shout out Don't Rage GG. We haven't mentioned him so far, but they had a really rough series 2 weeks prior. Was subbed out the week after that, but bounced back against AB
oh
as
yeah,
the lowest point player in the league. It was really easy to highlight Don't Rage and say, hey, this might be a potential weakness, but they kept it steady on the Malphite,
Yeah,
on the Mundo, and particularly redeemed themselves on the Mordekaiser, not having to play
yeah.
against the crazy Tempo Melendarius.
Yeah.
Great week for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my boy, honestly, like you always want to root for like the little guys, right?
what the fuck?
Hey, I mean, it's kind of what it is, man. Like you're like you're 2 points. You're going into a like it's a platinum
Yeah,
average league,
honestly.
right? Like let's be real.
Yep.
It's a platinum average
Yep.
league. I mean, maybe I didn't put it the right way, maybe, but that's kind of what it is, right? And I mean to put on that kind of performance, like that Mordekaiser game, I think he was super important in our win. Like no lie, that was honestly like a team effort from like all of us, and he was like an equal contributor. So definitely props to him.
I assume he was ulting the Zandries and Zhao, and basically you guys can just run over the fight without him
Yeah.
on the Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
good plan.
He's healing incidents.
Yeah.
Anyways, speaking of Zandri, let's oh no, sorry, not speaking of Zandri. Sorry, I'm thinking of great junglers.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Poke
but
Panda.
didn't want
Yeah,
to. Yeah,
they're
Poke
similarly
Panda.
good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
they are similarly good. But this is the help Katie of the season. I think Tech Esports Black is. Where last season help Katie was 21 point roster, made semifinals. Tech Esports Black is in the position to just that at 20, or their main roster is 21 points, but with Poke Panda they're 22 points because they've been subbing out Fried Chicken 117 hashtag 117. But yeah, Tech Esports Black have been very surprisingly good. Who did they beat actually? Let me look at this really quickly. Okay, so they lost to Milk in week 1, and then they beat LOQ. That's a good win, and then they beat Battle Bunnies. Okay, so they've had two wins. They're looking in like pretty good position to make playoffs.
Yeah. Totally agree. Like they've been on an upward trend. They're 2-1. Like you kind of have to imagine them getting one more win, right? In
The
three
rest of their
Oh, that's
weeks.
all they
schedule
need.
is
Oh,
yeah. The rest of their
oh,
schedule is rough though. It is we KND HK.
Oh, okay.
oh.
So they need to take one. They need to take one series
Fingers crossed.
here. So
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
okay,
that's a really
okay,
rough end of
that's
season.
tough.
Holy,
Okay, that's actually tough, huh? Okay. Well, sure.
But keeping
oh
keeping thing
seven.
keep keeping the glass half full for a second. They've definitely been my biggest surprise, man. I knew Fart was gonna have like a way in, with some like really standout players and Sweaters, Coat Monkey, Dodo Bobby, but TEB, we didn't really know where the power was gonna come from, but they have their strong points. Obviously Poke Panda, jellied sauce, but fried chicken has been has an amazing name first of all, but also just has been so solid on like the longer range, more Doran staple AD carries. Their Caitlyn and their MF has been really stable.
Yeah.
I
Just
I can't help but root for them going into all of their series. going forward. They're just such a scrappy team that know how to play together. I love TEB.
And this is the team as well that's playing in BOL, right? Isn't
Mhm.
it's Tech
Yeah, they're a
Esports?
collegiate team. Yeah, they're a collegiate team.
So they're going to be playing above their point value. I actually think that this team is very scary, and I would not be surprised to see them upset one of the top 3 teams that they have to play against in one of the last 3 weeks. It's not surprising to me at all if they do that.
Yeah, I agree.
So we haven't mentioned the last 2-1 team at all, GGL. The most interesting team and the hardest team to rank on this list. Because one, their best player just doesn't play League of Legends anymore. And two, it's like the way that they play is like so hard to evaluate their skill level.
Yeah, I think everyone knows about the GGL drafts at this point in the season, right? Like you got everyone going everywhere. You don't know what's gonna happen until they tell you in the lobby that they're playing Fizzbot. So
They're
it's
literally down to lose bans to switch their players around. I've never
yes,
seen that before.
yeah. They just do not care, I guess. Like, I, when you've got like flexible players like that, I guess it's just like the strength of being able to flex around and make kind of game plans around maybe your opponent's stronger players, weaker players, champion pools that you could exploit.
You know,
You know,
I just thought of something. Tech Esports Black's team design is actually insane because they're so hard to like kind of scout, right? So you have no idea what to ban against them anyways. You
yes.
effectively have 0 bans against that team. So they effectively don't lose bans from swapping around their players. Is that not insane?
Ah,
Yeah.
they're coming in
Yeah.
with the hot new strat. Now,
Wait, that's like Giga Tech.
next season,
Holy,
everyone's gonna
It's
come in with 5 people
5
just
mil, please.
picking random stuff.
it's a crazy strat, but also a tale as old as time, right? If we don't know what we're doing, the enemy team definitely has no freaking idea what we're doing.
Hmm.
I love GGL, dude. We have them placed last of the 2-1 teams just because, like, as their own captain said, they're not taking it super seriously. But I think
Yeah,
we would all be collectively really sad if they actually did start taking things seriously.
Maybe it's
Never
like
I
change,
think
Glizzy Gluckers. Never
I
change.
will say, I think that they
Uh-huh.
are okay. If they're like fifth or sixth seed, they will be the team that is most likely to make an upset in playoffs because they're just
yes,
gonna punch somebody in the mouth really hard.
yeah, totally agree.
I
Yeah, like
I also think their chances of making playoffs are almost like locked in at this point. Like
What
they've
is the
got
rest of the
Ella
schedule?
they've got well, their final game is against KND, so that I actually think that'll be super fun to watch. But their next 2 games are actually against LLQ and BAT, which I would favor them
it,
pretty easily. I'd
in
say.
both, yeah.
I think they have a really good shot at making
I think
playoffs. Yeah,
LLQ should be close. Okay, I'm also very high on LLQ after playing against them, but I think that should be a close series actually. LLQ versus GGL.
yeah.
The mid
I
laner of
mean, we have them
LLQ is
6 and 7s,
very,
right?
very good. The
Hmm.
Yeah.
six
Well,
seven.
let's
Yes,
let's
yes, we do.
transition into LLQ. Like, what do you think of him after freshly playing him?
Puston is that guy. But we played against the Pustinari. He's that guy. Korean guy or what's his name? Jungle Diff, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
he was
Yeah, Jungle Diff.
he was fine. Um, they had a sub
yeah.
jungler
Sub
against us, so
jungler.
Unitunes did not play against us. Um, we are back in Shung were like a little disappointing, but also I do think that Noablo and Lavender are the best ADC plus support combo in the league, so it's not really like that surprising to lose to them. They did. We are back and Shung did have a monster game too on it was Mel plus Senna, if I
Melsenna.
remember correctly.
Yeah, Melsenna.
Yeah, we got destroyed by that. Oh my god.
Sen-
I
Yeah.
would say that bot lane of Senna Mel is illegal, but you guys were playing Ash Seraphine, so it was fighting fire with fire. Props to them,
Yeah.
respect.
yeah, Senna just
Uh
terrorizing Dorans or something. I don't know. Just, huh.
but yeah, in particular, Pliston's Ari was the like deciding factor in that game. We
Cool.
could not do anything about the Ari in the team fights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to-
but
yeah, totally agree. Like I was
I
watching the series, and from your perspective, obviously, because they weren't streamed, but I think they did play a really fantastic game too. Just kind of really knew when to like group up, and it kind of seemed like once they did that, I guess a little bit was the comp, but like it seems like y'all were kind of like stuck. You couldn't do anything to them,
Yeah,
especially
I
like
mean, to be fair, our comp was one that like if we fell behind, it was kind of hard for us to win the game because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like kind of what Shaco comps are.
Hmm.
But like, still, it like does not matter. They executed very, very, very well for a team that is 0-3. I think that they are the most impressive one, and there's a reason why we have them over Milk.
Yeah, like that 0-3 to me is like, I mean, obviously it
Fake. It's so
happened, but it
fake.
seems so fake. Like I don't get it. I I
They've
guess
won a
Just
game in
strength of
every
schedule,
series.
right?
yeah,
Who,
like
who have
Importantly,
they got
they've
coming up? Yeah.
okay, so they have GGL, which I think that's a toss up. They have
Okay.
AB, which
Yeah.
I think that they should beat, and then they have
Yeah. Yeah.
Fart, which low key also a toss up.
Okay. So their fate is in their hands. They're very
Yes,
much in this race.
they
Yeah.
could go 3-0. They could go 0-3. They could like
anywhere in the middle,
you
right?
know, yeah, anywhere in the middle. It does depend on Unitunes, I think, is going to be the big question mark for the rest of the season for them. They need to step it up, I think. And they absolutely can. You know, their 4 points jungle is not bad. But um, I
Wait,
think
they're four
that,
points. Okay. That's
yeah,
decent.
um, I really want to see Unitunes kind of, set up their team because we are back in Shung when they have money are like insane. And I think that you can play make with Pustin very easily.
Well, Pustin's the playmaking guy. I think we have somebody like this every season. I think it was TSL Carry Potter who played the facilitating picks, the backup Oxymoronical. Pustin just plays picks that just gets we are back ahead. That's their game plan,
Yeah,
and I think they do that
yeah,
very effectively. Yeah.
I agree. Um, but we kind of mentioned Milk very briefly. You want to get into this one, Coke Monkey?
Yeah, milk. It's their points capped. We thought they'd be like in the top half of teams probably like coming into the season. I don't exactly remember where we put them, but I think it was somewhere like decently high. And
Hmm.
I mean, so far the performances just haven't really backed it up, right?
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately for Milk, they've played against some tough opponents. Do we know what the rest of their schedule looks like?
so the
Let's
rest of
see.
Milk's schedule, they play against AB, Fart, and Candy. Not a very easy schedule to round out the season. I
Mm,
think that they'll be favored against AB. AB has been decent though, so that's like closer than you would think.
it's gonna be
Um,
streamed. Yeah.
yeah, Fart, I think that they're not going to be very favored against, and then K and D even less so.
Yeah,
Mm.
So they got a tough schedule to close out the season.
it's just I guess it just hasn't really been clicking for them. I don't know what it is, but we really expected. Obviously, Woodenmouth has put on good performances. 1v9 game two
Yeah,
this season, this last week, but like everybody else just hasn't really showed up. Unfortunately, I feel like.
I
I think it's just the
was
comp
very
experience thing. Yeah, go ahead.
well. They're all collegiate comp players. I've been talking to Saeem about like
Oh,
this
okay.
this
Okay,
team. So
okay.
they're all collegiate players. So they know how to play comp. I'm a little bit. I don't mean to like dog on this team a little bit, and I apologize if it gets like rude. But I was pretty high on Doya and Den as like a mid jungle combo, and they have been a little disappointing. I think Den looks good in some games, and then in games where he picks Galio, he doesn't look very good. Uh, Doyen, I did not have a particularly hard time playing against when I played against Milk. Compared to like points. Like if I were to play against like a Dota Bobby or Justino, who are the same points as Doyen, it would be much more difficult. Or even like Zaltkret as well, who we'll get into in a second.
But what about their synergy specifically as a duo in the games you played against them?
Well, they didn't really
Yeah,
link up. Was my problem.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be
It
an
was just
issue.
kind of like, how do we shut down Den? Okay, we can like find him inside, and Doyen was like not covering.
Hmm. And that's kind of how you can kind of really hamstring this team, right? Like their bot lane is kind of their like lower point value, so like the top side needs to kind of they need to pull their weight, right? And if they
Yeah,
aren't,
I will say. Sorry to cut you off, but like one more, you did remind me of something. So one more thing, they have not been playing with their main support the whole season.
Yep.
And what Saeem told me was that like Batur is like that guy apparently. So they are missing a significant like piece on their roster, which maybe
But
is
are they coming back?
apparently this week they're coming back.
okay,
Ooh,
So
okay.
Batur coming back is going to be a big boost for this team. Uh, However, they are in a pretty big hole that I'm not sure they're going to be able to dig themselves out of.
okay.
Well, hopefully they come back. Yeah, I mean, not counting them out. They've always got a chance for the
I mean,
rest of the season. But
they do only have to win two
yeah,
series. I mean, it's not impossible for sure.
true. Next week they're favored, and they just have to like clutch one out. Let's see how big of a difference Batur makes, because
True.
we did have Batur ranked pretty highly coming into the season. They did look really good, OP wise at least.
Cool, cool.
I'm sad to see I Smell Like Carpet go though. What a great name.
True.
True.
Top three.
Yeah, I think top three for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Um,
finally, just shout out Wooden Mouth. Just
yeah,
has been
Wooden
just their
Mouth, just
standout. Yeah,
one of the best players in the league, honestly. This guy is nuts. We literally had to game plan around Wooden Mouth when playing against Milk, and that was like just like such a big stressor for us. And even then, he was still like very difficult to play against, even though our whole game plan was built around him.
Yeah,
yep.
that's
Shout out to him.
definitely for sure. So,
And now we
Uh,
move into our
I guess, yeah,
final bracket of teams. Would any of you guys like to talk about AB or BAT?
yeah. I mean,
um,
sure, I can start us
you
off
want
with,
yeah, you want AB because you
yeah,
just played against
yeah,
them.
for sure. Like,
Okay.
I'm using it best. Looks rough, 0-3, but I kind of like on the same, maybe not to the same extent as LQ, but like I still think they're, I don't think they're, I don't think they're bad. Playing against them in game one, they had like their engage comp. I think they were very linked up with like the engages. They were very in sync on when to go in, when to find their opportunities. I think we just kind of were too ahead for them to come back, but they were super in sync with that. And in game two, uh, like I said before, the top and jungler just definitely linked up really hard, really really took advantage of top lane and to get fed, and then translated that to the rest of the map. Like, I think these guys kind of like they know their win conditions. They're good at playing together. It's just I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like at that point it might be like hands gap or something. I like there's nothing else you can really point towards because I think they're a good team, as in like a unit of 5 players. I think they're good.
I feel like
Yeah.
KND last season. Last season's KND was 2-3 in the regular season. They were like okay hands wise, not really anything exceptional, but their macro was just like insane. They had like one of the best macros in the league, like and that coming from like a team that like played like they do, it got them wins where they should not have found wins. And I
Do you know?
think I'm
Do you know
using
who's
at
their shot
best.
caller on Candy?
I would guess it's trackpad enjoyer, but like
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to cut
I
you
don't
off.
know.
Go ahead.
Um,
But
but
yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
saying
I think I'm
AB.
using at best. Yeah. I think I'm using at best could be the same thing, right? And Magma Overlord and the Kang have looked pretty good. Xandri has looked really good. Alien characters guy has looked really good. I think Snow is like solid for their points. They just have not put it together yet.
Oh, I forgot to shout out the King. I think he's actually really good. Have obviously as my like direct lane opponent, I think really solid play from the Rel against my Senna. Like caught me one time mid, and game got really hard. But yeah. And then the Maokai in game two, um, definitely had like a good sense of when to use the go button, and yeah, just honestly, well done from him. I wanted to shout that out.
Yeah, I think for amusing at best, they have really solid laners in every lane. It's really just, with every team, with your point allocation, you need your higher point players and your lower point players. And I think Snow has slowly been scaling throughout the season. I think were we're starting to look really gapped in sort of the games at the start of the season, but they're beginning to look better. And I think if that continues on that upward trajectory, they could be in for a really nice end to the season.
I 100% agree. I love, and speaking of low point players, I mean, we talked about Xandri earlier. Very quietly, like I'm going to repeat myself, just very quietly been one of the best junglers in the league. And I believe that they can use that to, get a few series here and there. Probably it's unlikely they're going to make playoffs, but they could definitely take some series, like, and some upsets for sure. Um, and I guess I'll also get into Battle Bunnies because that's like a team that I had mentioned at the preseason podcast that I was like about to play with my team. It was a scrim against Battle Bunnies, because they had like posted in the team builder LFG, and I've kind of been in contact with Rin and See You Sunday, their old jungler, for most of the season. And I'm kind of a coper about this team because I really don't think they're that bad on paper, right? I think Rin is really good. Alaria has been solid. Their new top laner, who was Jane Doe and is now Snow Bunny, is actually really good as well. Saltkret is solid. Fleur de Lune needs, I think, some help in lane, but I think plays out of lane very well. It's the same thing. They just cannot quite put it together, and I think it's the lane that's killing them. They just don't quite know how to lane yet. They play well. They like know how to play towards a win condition, but they just like can't quite get the hands there.
Yeah, like you can definitely find, you can know how to win, but like if you just don't have the wallet, you don't have like the items in your inventory, you can know all you want, and it's just not, it's it's gonna be hard, right?
Yeah, I'm not very good at this predicting thing. I'm starting to realize my two underdog picks to show out this season were Milk and Battle Bunnies, and they obviously haven't done super well this season. But I agree. I think Battle Bunnies have really good pieces. All they need is just a little bit more grinding in solo queue. I think you can't avoid that. You kind of just need that ability to know what you're getting in terms of win conditions every game to be able to establish a winning strategy. And I think Rin has been quite solid. Zelkret has had their good games, and nobody has really started to pop off at this stage in the season, but they just need a little bit more consistency out of every lane.
Yeah. And we had mentioned at the start of the season that there were a lot of teams who are new to comp. Um,
Mhm.
I think that has kind of shown itself in Battle Bunnies. They unfortunately they look a little lost sometimes and maybe a little tilted as well. Maybe there's like some mental issues like that. I just remember from like playing against them that it like kind of like felt like that way. Um, and I really I don't know. I want to see the best from this team because they have a lot of potential, and I still am a big fan of their roster makeup. I do miss See You Sunday, who is like See You Sunday's my goat. Uh, I still like kind of even though she's not on the team anymore, I'm still kind of talking to her and trying to like coach her up to like be like cracked at jungle because I really do think that she's like the has the potential. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that this team can like make a few upsets towards the end of the season.
For sure.
Not to be too big of like a rank merchant, but I think uh, either somebody on this team has to grind a little bit to get to Emerald, or they need to have some experience playing with an Emerald player. Because I think Emerald is the rank where you need to start learning like how games of League of Legends are won and what is needed in terms of tempo to be able to win objective fights. Just I think they just need that little bit more, and they're there.
And even then, it's like Emerald players are like gonna kick your ass in lane as well, so you get like really good laning
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
So,
like that's
yeah,
for sure.
and that probably rounds it out for our power rankings. We're going a little long here, so
Yep.
we're just gonna really, really briefly go over next week's games. Kind of just like quick fire them through. Just give me. I'm just gonna name the series. You guys give me your thoughts. We'll do the stream series last as usual. So we'll start off with GGL versus LOQ. What do you guys think?
GGL 2-1 for me. I think GGL will kind of just cheese through it like they always do. They'll take it.
Quick fire. I agree. Actually, I'm gonna go GGL 2-0.
I am going to be the disagreeer here. Let me just double check my predictions on the thing. Yes, I do have LQ winning 2-1. I think that they looked impressive enough to me that I think that this is their upset week. HK Battle Bunnies, we're going to be double subbing against them, but even then I think it should still be a 2-0.
Yep, 2-0 HK. I think
HK about Moldrifter. We're gonna
Okay.
see how good they are, but it's gonna be a 2-0, I think.
Yeah, I think too. I think from what we've
Ista
seen
is
so
just
far,
as good of a shot caller as me.
yeah, from
Okay.
what we've seen so far, it's just 2-0 HK. I think.
Yeah.
All the laners are really good. They're all still there. Yeah.
I think the series of the week is the next one. Fart versus KND. The 3-4 in the power rankings. I actually got Fart winning this one. Not gonna lie, I think Dodobavi and 36 Sweaters are gonna show Candy some stuff. I mean, like they're so good.
Yeah, I've got us winning 2-1 because we have to predict ourselves to win. That's part of the winning mentality. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for sure. So looking forward to it.
Okay, but you notice every week Coke Monkey says, I need to say 2-0. Him saying 2-1 is a big sign of respect for
Uh-oh, caught.
KND.
This is true. This is
I've been
true.
caught.
But yeah, I think our predictions for this match probably change after this last week on stream. You know, some of Candy's weaknesses have been exposed. I will repeat the 2-1 in favor of Fart, but hopefully they have a nice bounce back.
And then Tech Esports Black versus Wii. Tech Esports Black looks great. Wii is gonna 2-0 them pretty quickly. I think Zodex is just too good. Dondong looks pretty good as well in the jungle. I don't know. Wii is suppressive.
Yeah, Wii is.
Yeah, Zodex gap. End of story. Yeah.
Yeah, 2-0 for
Yeah.
Wii. Wii is just they're number one. They're gonna stay number one.
Yep. And then the last series, the stream series, is Milk versus Amusing at Best. Also, probably going to be a pretty close series. I mean, Milk needs to win this series to stay in playoff contention, so it's like a very important series for them. I think I would take Milk 2-1 though. I think this is their week.
Yeah, if any week is their week, it's this one. But after seeing what Amusing at Best is capable of, I think I got a little bit of belief in them. I'm going to say 2-1 for AB.
I think Dillian's due for a bounce back. I go Milk 2-1 here.
All right, and with that, I think that'll be the end of the show for us. Thank you, Fajita. Thank you, Coke Monkey. This was a long one, so if you made it to the end, really appreciate you guys for listening. And we'll be back next week with the same podcast, same crew. Maybe Bexon, maybe not. We're not 100% sure. But until then, see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah, take care, everyone. Bye bye.